sweet to me. The things you're doing to my mind, I want you to do to my body.
Too raw.
Giving me what I need. That's what you got to do. Giving me what I need. That's what you got to do.
What is the deal? What is happening? What is going on, Raider Nation, man? You are back for another live episode here of the Raider Rundown, man. I said I was going to take a break last week, and surprisingly enough, the Raiders just keep giving us content. So number one, I can't take a break, and I tried, man, but just keep coming back to it, man. I think I got a problem. But either way it goes, man, here we are, bro. We are back giving y'all some news here about the Las Vegas Raiders, man. We got some interviews lined up. We got some head coaching updates we got to talk about, GM updates we got to talk about, and everything else in between. So let's go ahead. Let's get this intro started, man, and let's get the show cracked. And before any of y'all come on here, get to saying anything about them graphics, I ain't had a time to change nothing. All right, so give me a minute. I know we got some people on the graphics on the intro that shouldn't be there, but give your boy Rundown a second. I will change that soon. I ain't had time to make another intro, but you are here, man, for another episode here of the Raider Rundown. First and foremost, man, you see the digs, man. Shout out to my uncle, man. Go ahead, grab me something, man. Hey. When you're thrifty, man. And we a family full of thrifties out here, man. So if you be going to the thrift shops, whatever the case, man, and you know about them, hidden stores or whatever the case in the California area, man, hit your boy up, bro. Because I definitely love going thrifting, bro. But once again, man, shout out to the Unc, man. Definitely found me something, man. Shit fire. But appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Hopefully everybody's having a great Monday. Morning, whatever the case is, right? We got some Raider news we got to talk about. Got some things about Ben Johnson we got to talk about, and everything in between. But you already know what time it is, man. It's a Raider Rundown show. So anytime we go ahead and touch on the live button, you know we got to do first, man. That is. Hit it with the roll call, man. Go ahead and get some love to all my peoples in the chat real quick before we get down to the business, man. What's going on to everybody, man? Robert Pena, what's the deal, man? Shout out to you. Big shout out, man. Sun Goddess in the building. Good afternoon, Raider Nation. Good afternoon to you as well. Sun Goddess J.I. Raider in the building. Let's go, man. The Tom Brady effect is real. Bears writers are saying Brady is tempering with Ben Johnson. Seems the deal is set to be done. Adam Schefter, Ben Johnson, the Raiders is more possible than Bears. This is true. And also, right, are y'all already probably hip? Mike McCarthy just got fired from the Cowboys as well. So that would be a person I would link to the Chicago Bears as well, right? Because they are kind of trying to look for some veteran leadership. They would like some young, but they're looking for some veteran leadership as well. So Mike McCarthy would be something you could say, okay, maybe the Bears would be interested. So since now he's free. But we'll continue to talk about that, man. Jeffrey, what's the deal, man? In the building. Salute. Sacktown Raider Mike, what's going on? Salute to you. Dixon Sider, yes, sir. All the people's in the building, what's going on? Salute. Just another DJ, what's going on, bro? Yeah, you already know, man. We come with the fire beats on here. Everything is made by your boy. So if you need anything, come holla at me. You know what time it is. But Dominique in the building, salute, man. What's going on? I see my guy SoCal Sal. What's the deal? Yes, sir. Everybody in between. L11 in the building. Yeah, I got to give a shout out to that. That Vato 916, man. What's the deal, bro? Salute, salute. First time I'm seeing you in the building, man. Appreciate you for stopping by as well, man. Tap on the like button at the very least, man. And you know what I always say, man. If you're feeling what you're hearing, definitely tap on the subscribe button as well. My guy 805. What's going on, bro? What it is, man? Just popping in to say what's good. Have a good show, my guy. Appreciate that, man. Nothing long today. We ain't gonna do nothing crazy. Just gotta go ahead and talk about some of the news that we got as far as the head coaching updates, man. And during this all season, you know, I'll just go ahead and do some impromptu lives, man. If we got some updates, we got to go ahead and talk about some things that transpired or whatever the case, man. And we just want to lump it all in. I'll just be doing some impromptu lives during the off season. So go ahead, keep your notifications on, man, because you never know when I'll just go ahead and be ready to touch on that live button. But here we go, man. Drake for show, man. What's goody, man? What's the deal with you, bro? Go, what's good? What's good, man? Got everybody in the chat, man. I see my guy Machiavelli in the game, man. What's the deal, man? What's the deal? Yes, sir. My guy Jeff in the building as well, man. Salute, salute. Gun Smoke, yes, sir. What's going on, man? Got everybody in this mug, man. Seemed like a good time, man. Hey, this seemed like a good time. Everybody here, everybody in the building, man. This seemed like we rocking right now. They said they ain't bringing Gruden back. Don't wish that upon us right now, bro. We don't need none of that. Don't wish none of that Gruden shit upon us at all, man. 831 in the building. We should go after Monken. He's on my list. He would be on my list, like personally, but I don't know. I know they requested something, but I don't know if there's a date set. Raiders Allegiance, man. What's going on, big dog? We're gonna do a show soon, bro. We're gonna do a show soon. Shit been crazy for me, man. You know, everything's stacking up. But as of right now, bro, we definitely gonna do a show, man. Shout out Sean Johnson, man. Salute Rundown, General Manager John Spytek, Head Coach Ben Johnson, DC Robert Saleh. This would be awesome. Oh, that's Dream Team right there, bro. That's Dream Team. Oh, you know, I gotta give a shout out to Raider Trey. What's going on, bro? And everything in between. All right, let's go ahead and let's get this mug started, man. You already know what it is, bro. We on the search, right? Raiders on the search. Today, we got some more news about some other coaches that the Raiders could potentially be looking at. We got some information on some interviews that we already got. So let's go ahead and let's start off like this. And as always, you know what I say, man. The graphics that we will be looking at are presented to you by Raiders Resistance. So you already know what time it is, man. Make sure you guys go to Instagram, wherever the case, man. If you're looking for some fire graphics, go over to the dog page, hit the follow button. But as you can see, man, the Raiders have requested an interview with Vance Joseph for the head coaching job. All right, so Vance Joseph, if you don't already know, he is Denver's defensive coordinator as of right now. And Denver, you know, for all intents and purposes, we hate Denver. I get it. Fuck Denver. It is what it is. But you know, they had a pretty good defense. You know, they had a pretty good defense. So you can't really poo-poo on the job he's done with their defense. But as far as head coach, yeah, that'd be the fuck no for me. I don't know about all y'all. But you know, this for me, you know, this for me, rhyme it with the word booney. You know what I mean? Booney tool. If that's what you want to say. All right. We can rhyme it with them words if that's what you want to say. Or you could just say scouting. All right. You could just say we scouting for the defensive purposes, trying to see kind of what their philosophy might be going into next year if he was to be retained as Denver's defensive coordinator. So that's probably what you're saying, right? Like for me, it's an emphatic fuck no. I woke up to the news and it pissed me off a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Yeah, I woke up to it and it made me mad. But you know, sometimes you got to do your due diligence, right? You going with Spagnuolo, the interview there, which I don't actually think is like a for real interview. I think it's the same thing as this, right? You getting the lay of the land, pretty much, right? Like that's really what I think it is. If they're serious, yeah, bro. I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna have some choice words if they dead ass with this. But we got to do, bro. We got to go through our due diligence, right? Ooh, excuse me. Damn, goddamn springtime coming around, bro. Hey, any of y'all that got allergies, bro, y'all know what time it is, bro. When it turned to January, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You feel what I'm saying? You better keep the goddamn allergy pills on you. I keep them shits on me. Hey, I be popping them shits like rappers pop the pills, motherfucker. I swear to God. At this point, though, I will say this. Let's go ahead and let's go through his let's go through his little coaching record because we got to do our due diligence, right? We got to at least see what he's got as far as background. But just putting it out for the record, I'm not excited about this motherfucking shit at all. But let's go ahead and let's start it like this. All right. So, I think let's see how long he's been in the league. He's been in the league for a minute. Been in the league for a minute. In the NFL, total of 9 years. Total of 9 years. Full coaching history, though. He's been coaching since 1999. Right. So long ass time, right? Long ass time to be coaching football just in general, right? He's 52 years old. So not all that not all that old as far as that. But hold on, I want to look at something else because this ain't giving me what I want. There we go. That's what I want. So he's coached 20 years, whatever the case. So his playoff record is 2-7. His win percentage is fucking 46% in total. But he's been under coaches like Gary Kubiak, Marvin Lewis connection, right? If Marvin Lewis stays in the building, Mike Nolan, Mike Singletary, Adam Gase. So he's been around some coaches, you know what I mean? And if you're looking, like I said, he's been in the league for a minute, like I believe 9 years, if I'm not mistaken. But either way it goes, mainly as defensive on the defensive side of the ball. Feel what I'm saying? We go defensive coordinator for a number of years. When you starting out, he's with the Niners, right, as a DB coach for about like 5 years with them as a DB coach from like 2005, 2010. Then transitions to Houston as then a secondary coach. So you can kind of see his specialty, right? You look in secondary. You can see kind of what he's done with Pat Surtain and kind of that secondary over there. But regardless of the fact, you looking at the DBs with the Houston Texans 2011 to 2013. And then he goes to Cincinnati, same thing, DB coach, right? Cincinnati 2014, 2015. And then he gets his shot as a DC, defensive coordinator, right, with the Miami Dolphins in 2016. And they go 10-6. So at that point, he then parlays that to go to Denver in the 2017 or 2016. No, 2017. Yeah, he goes to Denver in 2017. And at that point, all of us, we're here. We're Raider fans, bro. We know how his tenure in Denver went as a head coach. All right. I mean, all of us here pretty much saw that shit firsthand. We laughed, right? I mean, come on now. We all laughed at Denver them 2 years when he was the head coach. I mean, 5-11 first year, 6-10 the next year. So, right, the glory days for us, if you want to ask me. But we really looking at this motherfucker right here, and it's like, don't move me. But then after that, right, he's then made his bones again as a DC to the Cardinals, boom, for a number of years, back to the Broncos as a DC, right? So again, to me, and I hate to say this, bro, because I love black coaches getting hired and getting a shot and getting a chance, but here specifically, no. It don't work. Now you could say Rooney Rule. I saw somewhere that Aaron Glenn was interviewed already. So you got to think about that, right? Aaron Glenn was interviewed. So that satisfies one. You got to have two in the season. So that's Aaron Glenn. I don't know. Did Robert Saleh already have his interview? That's the next thing I got to think. Because if Robert Saleh didn't have his interview already and it's just scheduled, right? Now we just scheduled that thing. Then at that point, this would be the second fulfillment of the Rooney Rule, right? This would be the second fulfillment. And then when you really, interviewing Saleh, I mean, I guess that would fulfill it too. But to me, Saleh is more of a like really test the waters, how you trying to be a DC thing. That's my opinion. I don't really think Saleh is, again, a major head coaching candidate from like what I'm gauging, all the shit I'm hearing, whatever the case. I think that's more a test in the waters. Like, hey, bro, how would you feel about being a DC if X, Y, and Z happened here? You get what I'm saying? So that would be where I'm at. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about Vance Joseph, number one, getting an interview scheduled with the Raiders. Let me know. FBA G code says satisfying the Rooney Rule 100%. That's what I feel. That's 100% what I feel. And again, I love black head coaches or black coaches in general getting a shot, or just minority coaches in general getting a shot. But sometimes, bro, they gonna dry mail a motherfucker, right? Sometimes they gonna New England Patriot the system. And they just, hey, that was cold how they did it. Did it? They put both the minority coaches on the same graphic and said, "Hey, we done." With one graphic, them motherfuckers had it all figured out with the Rooney Rule. But this right here, I feel like it might be one of them things, bro. Just testing the waters, bro. Jeffrey says, no on Vance Joseph. No. Yeah, I'm a fucking no. Fuck the chokers. Oh, man, beautiful. Hey, we had a beautiful weekend, didn't we? They was all talking shit. Graphics, I mean, social media team for the Chargers over here posting shit after the last game just to get their ass whooped. Just to get their fucking ass whooped. I don't want to hear nothing about no motherfucking Justin Herbert. I don't want to hear shit about no Justin Herbert. I know Charger fans can come in here. Oh, if this happens, if this would happen, if this happens, I don't give a shit about that, bro. Your goddamn quarterback got as many playoff wins as Aiden O'Connell. So say what the fuck you want, right? They say what they want. Aiden O'Connell and Justin Herbert got the same amount of playoff wins. That shit's ugly. That shit right there is terrible. But Salah is scheduled on the 16th. I appreciate that. How you said it. Kawika. There we go. I appreciate that. So that's the 16th. So again, somebody said before I read, like, okay, you know, you got Aaron Glenn, that's one, and Salah that satisfies the Rooney Rule, but Salah hasn't been interviewed yet, right? So this would be, like we just talked about, the second installment of the Rooney Rule to me for the Raiders. Technically, it is. Now, you don't know what this interview entailed, but at the end of the day, like, if you're gonna go technicalities, that's the second installment. No problem with the Vance Joseph interview. Like I said, if he's a serious candidate, which in intents and purposes, I don't think he is, but I still think it's for scouting purposes. I have no problem with that. But if it comes down to he's like, oh shit, he's in the top 3, he's in the running. Now I kind of got a problem with that. I'm not gonna lie. Now I got a problem with that. Space Beast in the building, man. What's going on, Space Beast? Shout out. Ja Raider says, just keep Chip Kelly away from us. Thankful Brady is here because Davis would have hired Chip Kelly the next day. Facts. I'm not even gonna lie. That would have scared me. Now, the fact that Mike McCarthy is out there, I do believe, personal opinion, I do believe we might request the interview. We might. Veteran coach, you know what I mean? I feel like if the Raiders are doing due diligence, like it seems like they're doing, I feel like the interview would be requested for Mike McCarthy. Now, do I think that all of a sudden this man's fired and he's like a top 3 candidate? No, I'm not saying that at all. I do not think that at all. But, you know, again, if the Raiders are doing their due diligence, which I believe, and it looks like they're doing, you know, I believe he will be on the slate at some point. And especially if he's free, you know what I mean? He can pick and choose where he want to go. I believe he will be on the slate just for fucking around and saying like, all right, bro, we got to do our jobs just to hear what he says. What would he do? And I believe that's a lot of these coaches from the temperament of it, bro. They're not going into, and that's the one thing about this search before we continue. And what I do know, right? They're not going into this shit like they did for the past 2 years, where it's like, well, we kind of already got a guy in mind, and well, we're just gonna interview y'all for the fuck of it. You know what I mean? If somebody says something, then great. But realistically, we kind of already know who we're gonna hire, so we sitting here blank face and we kind of just listen and think about some other shit, right? You know what I mean? Y'all ever been talking to somebody and either they annoying you with what they saying, or you really don't give a fuck about what they saying, or either case, right? You're sitting there, you're looking at them, but it's like, you thinking of some whole other shit, right? You thinking of some whole other shit. You could be sitting there staring, nodding, but I have no idea what the fuck you just said. I think that's what's going on. That was what's going on in them interviews. Feel what I'm saying? AP, Josh McDaniels. It was already solidified damn near. You feel what I'm saying? Like it was already on the way to saying this is going to be the coach. This time it's more of, all right, bro, we like these people. We're going to request these interviews. Let's actually get them in here with clear frame of mind and hear what they talking about. All right. Do I like what they talking about? It was all right. Move it along. All right. Clear frame of mind. Next interview candidate. Let me hear what you're talking about. I kind of fuck with that. All right, cool. Let's put him away. So this is kind of what's going on now. You feel what I'm saying? Which is good. Which is how it's supposed to happen. You can't do what they've done before and already have somebody in the back of your mind, because then the interview process then becomes flawed, right? Like at that point, then what's the point? There's really no point of the interview process. You're not really hearing nothing. So Space B said Charball also had to leave a game in October for health concerns. Do is done sooner rather than later. I don't know, man. I don't know. Chargers don't scare me like that, bro. I know, they look all right. Now, if certain things fall into place for the Chargers, I'm not gonna lie. It could be a little different for them. Certain things got to fall into place. For me, you got to hope the Patriots throw whatever amount of money that you can possibly throw at T. Higgins, so the Chargers don't get this motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's what I feel like must happen, and I hope happens. The Patriots got to throw an obscene amount of money at that man. I do not want that man in the Charger uniform. But still, they don't really scare me like that, bro. They don't. I mean, to be honest, bro, there's only one big dog in the division. Let's keep it a bean. Like Bo Nix and them is cool. They made the playoffs. I understand. And I'm going to die on this hill. I still think Bo Nix is mid. I do. Now, he made some plays this year. He did his thing. But I still think there is a ceiling in which he can obtain, right? I still think there's a ceiling in Bo Nix. I really do. And I think Bo Nix only goes as far as Sean Payton takes him. Whereas, you look at other top quarterback duo, coach duos, right? The coach could be good, but I'm going to go as far as that motherfucker take me, right? Like, you look at John Harbaugh, I guarantee you he says that. You even look at Andy Reid, I guarantee you he says, I'm only going far as 15 takers. It is what it is, bro. So for the Broncos, bro, I think it's the other way around. So honestly, and I end that soliloquy by saying, you're looking at all these coaches. I know everybody like, oh man, they got all this competition in the division. Hey, dog, there's only one big dog in the division. Let's keep it a bean, bro. And ain't nobody knocked their ass off yet. Not the Broncos and not the Chargers. We ain't did it, right? We ain't did it either, and that's fine. But nobody's knocked the Chiefs off in the division. So everybody can talk all they want and do this and do that or whatever. Everybody's finishing second, third, and fourth right now. So for me, hey, all these coaches, bro, like, yeah, bro, you from the outside, all the chirping is whatever, bro. If I'm talking to Ben Johnson, whoever, fuck all that. You only got to knock off Andy. That's real shit. John ain't won shit yet. Sean ain't won shit yet. That's just real deal. So, hey, let's see where it's at, bro. Let's see where it's at. But let's continue, man. I saw something. Hold on. Bloody Raider said something earlier, man. I saw it. Oh, man. You already know, man. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate that. But, hey, man, whatever I can do to spread the update, spread the news. But let's go ahead and continue on what we are talking about. So now we officially got news for a candidate that I do think is a dark horse, right? Like for me, I've warmed up to the idea a lot, right? And again, I blame my pops. So anybody that's been watching the shows, they already know where I'm going with this, but I've kind of warmed up to this idea. And that is Pete Carroll, right? Pete Carroll. So today, the Raiders will be meeting with Pete Carroll in person, right? In person. That thing is going on today. Now, I don't know specifically what time that's going down, but I know that he's going in the building. He's going to meet with Mark, and I don't know if Tom's going to be there, but, they all going to sit down, and they're going to figure this thing out. So, I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. Over the past couple of days, like at first, I wasn't really feeling the Pete Carroll thing. At first, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't. But as the days have went, bro, I've kind of warmed up to the idea. I'm not going to lie. I've kind of warmed up to the idea. Now, the only way that I am really sold is I got to know how long he plans to coach for. And then my second question would be, if you don't plan to coach that long, what's the plan after that? Because as of right now, bro, we looking to build stability, right? So I got to figure out what's your plan, Pete. So if you tell me I'm only really trying to coach for like 3-4 more years, if you don't have no backup plan to come with that, like if Pete don't come with no backup plan for that, then that's gonna kind of ding him, in my opinion, right? Like that for real. That's gonna kind of ding him. He has to have some kind of backup plan. Now, to me, bro, you can't Now I understand some people could be like, it is whatever, but you can't argue with the resume, bro. You can't. You can't argue with the resume. Honestly, and then we can go ahead and go in it. If that's what y'all want to do. If that's what y'all want to do, we can go ahead and go in it. But you honestly don't. It's hard to argue with what he's done and what he's managed to do with teams, right? And sometimes even young teams, right? He's done it with young teams as well. So let me go ahead. And this is the thing how I look about Pete before we go through the coaching career. Like when I look at Pete, to me, he like a football therapist, right? Like football therapist. And what I mean by that is this. He's like somebody that you come in and if you need to rehabilitate shit, right? Everybody on that feel good, you know what I mean? Phil Jackson shit where, everybody's on that peace and love. That's what you do, right? That's what you bringing him in here for. And honestly, if like everywhere he's been, he's honestly built a culture, right? He's honestly built a culture everywhere he's been. If you're talking about the head coaches that he's been. Now, the last time we saw Pete Carroll, right? The last time we saw Pete Carroll, and I get it. Y'all don't want to pre-coach. I understand. Carroll could, that would be nice for Pete too, going on there. I understand. If we desperate, if we want Pete Carroll, okay. Jack says Pete Carroll resume is undisputed, but like 74 years old. Yeah. DJ says you're gonna have to help me see the vision with Pete Carroll. I just can't comprehend how this would work. So, like I said, look, again, the only way it works is if he had it. You have to know how long he plans to coach for. If he plans to coach for like 3-4 years, bro, he has to have a backup plan going into the interview. Like, I plan to coach for blank amount of years. I want this dude as a coordinator because this dude as a coordinator, I can see him being a head coach in 3-4 years when I'm done, right? Because as many times I've talked to Turf, right, and as many times I talk to y'all, you know what I mean? As many times I talk to y'all say like, okay, it's literally gonna take 3-4 years to build the culture, right? Because we're building this thing from the ground up. So talking to y'all, talking to some of the TRS people, okay, 3-4 years is how long it's gonna take. If that's Pete's timeline, okay, whoever your successor, quote unquote, would obviously be Brady and Mark approved, right? So then at that point, you got to say it takes 3-4 years. You build that culture to us to be a sustainable winning team. And whoever that coordinator would be, you would say, bro, when you take over this motherfucker, obviously you've been here for this whole time. So the players already know you. This isn't a new person we're bringing in. So it's easy for us to slot him in to that head coaching spot. And he already knows the expectation. The culture is built. We continue to roll. So that's kind of how something you would kind of have to present it like that. Like, that's just my perspective. But again, let's go through we got to do our due diligence. Let's go through the history. It's a long, lengthy history. Long, lengthy history. Again, right? Hold on. You see, I'm scrolling now. This motherfucker is like a CVS receipt. Hold on. 30 years coaching. 30. So started coaching 1973. 1973, a year after my pops was born. Crazy. Pacific Tigers. I have no idea where that's at, but just started in college, working his way up. Bang. Finally got his shot to the Buffalo Bills, 1984, DB coach. Obviously, we know he's a player/defensive coach, right? He's not really an offensive coach. That's really where he makes his bones on the defensive side of the ball. But, was in the league with the Vikings, with the Jets, D coordinator. Boom. He was a head coach with the Jets for 1 year. In 1994, boom, whatever the case, we keep going, right? I think most of everybody that's an older Raider fan or just an older fan, especially some of my USC fans, you know what's up with Pete Carroll, right? So it's really no use to go through the whole thing. You really already know what's up. And let's say this, right? Pete Carroll didn't get fired. I'm gonna argue this, bro. Turf, you can continue to argue with me, bro, but I'm gonna say it how it is, bro. To me, Pete Carroll didn't get fired like how Bill Belichick got fired for his job, right? You gotta be honest, right? Like, say even if the Crafts were orchestrating certain things behind the scenes, you could say from coaching wise, it's very hard for me to distinguish that they're telling Bill Belichick to draft some of these players. That's Bill. Bill was drafting all of them players, some or most of them players over there, bro. So then at that point there, you can really attribute the Patriots' decline. You could look at Bill and be like, bro, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You didn't draft these players. You didn't put coaches in place to help your players succeed. You didn't help your players upgrade. You didn't do none of that. You really fired. I mean, they fired Bill because, yeah, it's ran its course, right? In New England, Bill and the Patriots ran its course, but also for performance too, bro. I mean, shit, they were 4-13 the last time you saw Bill Belichick, right? They literally they were in the top 10 in the draft. That wasn't no bullshit. That wasn't by mistake, bro. Like, they were bad. He orchestrated some of that. Last time I saw Pete Carroll, it wasn't because of performance that he got fired. In my opinion, it's not. I mean, he was 9-8 his last season. I mean, you look at the Seahawks, right? They're kind of in that gray area of NFL teams where it's like you're good enough to like squeak in the playoffs and make a run a little bit towards the end of the year, but you know, you're not bad enough to then get like a top pick to maybe get a quarterback to upgrade something, or maybe get a top flight, you know, whatever to upgrade something. So they're in that gray area. But the last time we saw Pete Carroll, bro, he was 9-8. It wasn't like Bill Belichick where this motherfucker won like 4 games and they look dejected and they look bad and we're like, yeah, you know, he's losing it. Just to me, you know, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad. Now, this is somebody, obviously, I think he can upgrade the defense and make the defense good and make the defense better. I definitely do think he can do that. But where my question mark would be, and I think a lot of y'all question marks would be, is like the offensive side. Like, what will we do offensively? And I would need to ask Pete, like, what are you trying to do? You know what I mean? Because you know what the deal is here, bro. You know what I mean? Make no mistake. All right. If you think the Raiders are in these interviews trying to lie to these fucking candidates, like, oh, yeah, bro, it's all good and dandy here at the quarterback position, stop. Right? They're not doing that at all. Right? It's full candidness out here, bro. Let it all bear out. We're ass here at the quarterback position, sir. I mean, you say what you want, bro. It's booty here. So when you take this job, understand that this shit needs to be solved ASAP. Now, yes, right? Tom Brady is, of course, responsible for then trying to get the quarterback. But then at the same time, bro, they got to listen to these coaches and listen to who they like, what they think, right? To see if the shit aligns. Because, okay, like, say, for example, right? Say we like Vance Joseph. This motherfucker can sit here and be like, well, you know what? I think we should go ahead and draft, you know, Kyle McCord in the second round. And we all look at each other like, what the fuck is he talking about? What? But see, that's why you got to listen, right? Because you could be like, oh, yeah, whatever the case. But certain motherfuckers can come with a plan and you like, oh, no, I'm not feeling that. No, I'm not feeling that shit at all. Yeah, I can't do that. So you just got to hear. If Pete comes and he's like, you know, I like this, and this. Okay, maybe Brady can say, all right, bro, I have to fuck with that plan. All right. Now they might have some deliberation back and forth. The plan might not be exactly how Brady sees it, how Mark sees it, but they can come to an agreement. You feel what I'm saying? An agreement can come too. So I do think that we got to see what his offensive plan would be. But I do think he can work with a young quarterback. I do think that would be able to work. Because say what you want, bro. You know, hey, he won with Russell Wilson in the second year. He did do that. And my camera is on the fritz. As long as y'all can hear me, y'all know what time it is, bro. We still keeping the show rolling. Oh, there we go. It's over here switching. What the fuck are you doing it for? But yeah, he won a bowl. And Russell Wilson was in the second year. You feel what I'm saying? So obviously gave him, you know, the support that was needed to go on a long playoff run, to go on a great season that year with a young quarterback, right? Gave him the support needed. So I think, and at the same time, man, he was the executive vice president of football operations his whole time in Seattle. So obviously at the times, at the apex, of course, and just, I think throughout his tenure of Seattle, helped and was directly and probably involved in drafting most of the people that was on the roster, right? So if I'm looking right, I don't ever think when I think of Seattle's organization when he was there, I don't ever think they drafted wrong or they did shit the wrong way, right? Like that's just me personally, but just from the outside in, like as a spectator, I never thought Seattle ran its organization the wrong way or they drafted terribly or they did things like a weird way. I never thought that. I thought he ran a tight ship. You know what I mean? Now I think towards the end shit got a little loose because you know how lax he is sometimes, but you lose some of them leaders. You lose that leadership in the locker room. You saw what happened, right? Because somebody just said it right now. Somebody in the chat just said it, and I'm gonna go up and find it. But he's a player's coach, right? The players will run the locker room when you have guys like fucking Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner, Marshawn Lynch. These dudes. You feel what I'm saying? These guys. You go ahead, you turn the locker room over. You instill the vision. You see what I'm saying? But them dudes like that, like you let them go. You let them work. But then when you lose that, and then, obviously you don't see like Russell Wilson's not that type of leader. So you lose that, like then you start losing some of the magic, start losing some of the mustard. But I think we got the players in here that number one, some players, once you start getting rid of some of these motherfuckers up in here, right? We do got the right players in here like Brock, like Max, like JPJ, and some others that you can look at that have that mindset that you can now, like, once the vision is instilled, all right, bro, turn it over. Take the locker room over, run this shit how it's supposed to be ran. And Pete Carroll, I think, does a good job of like overseeing his team. So I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at it, honestly. As long as his coordinator hires are good, I think it would be a good hire, bro. I really do. But reserve right to judgment because Dominique says, I don't trust Pete with OC and offensive plan. And that's your right. And that's completely understandable. Completely understandable. Like I said, we'd have to, and it's hard for us to know that because we probably wouldn't know all that, but we would just have to kind of, as information comes out, if I hear anything, whatever the information comes out, definitely we'll know a little bit more as we go. But just talking and kind of in and out a little bit, I didn't want to go a full hour. We just kind of, touching on some of the things that are going on right now, giving some updates, might do a little some throughout the week as well. But kind of touching on some things, we got some GM updates a little bit that we kind of got to get into that I think you gotta watch. But we got a super chat in the building. Number one, appreciate it from the guy Jeff, man. Thank you. Hey, shout out Jeff. He says he took a mid-team in Seattle and won and made them relevant for years. 100%. Hey, that culture that Seattle is really like what they're doing right now as far as a team with Mike McDonald is off the building blocks of what Pete Carroll built with at his time there. So I will say that. But we got some GM updates and we got some things we got to talk about. But real quick, before we got to get into that, I got a real quick discussion. Salah has 15 kids, needs a tax-free state to work in. What the fuck? Hey, that's out of pocket, Space Beast. That's out of pocket. You worry about this man's kids? So if that's the case, go ahead, call Tyreek too. You know that man needs some tax-free money and shit. You know how that go? Go ahead, bring him around here, man. You know Tyreek need that tax-free. Yes, sir. Hey, we might as well. You know what's crazy, bro? We might as well. Hey, that's a good selling point. Some of y'all, I might be kind of fucking around, but I'm kind of serious, bro. That's a real good selling point. You feel what I'm saying? All y'all that got multiple kids, right? You be stressed. Don't trip. Start that Raider daycare for you, baby. Hey, it's all tax-free, too. Go ahead, bring it in. You're going to have money for the little chilling. We straight. We going to be good, bro. We start the daycare, bro. Then we start getting all the dudes that got all these 15 baby mamas and shit. We going to be fine. I'm telling you. Plus, hey, you already know, man, the motherfuckers with the 15 baby mamas, that'd be the ones with the dogs and shit, too. You know, them is the dogs. Them is the dogs. Hey, facts. But let's talk about something real quick. Before we do that, let's talk about something, bro. With Ben Johnson, I as of right now, I do think that we in the clubhouse, bro. We in the clubhouse. I think the only fear for me with Ben Johnson would be like he don't have that much experience. And I think it's like McDaniel's PTSD kind of, right? Where it's like he don't got that much experience. So I don't really know what to expect. I like his scheme, and I think his scheme is good. I really like that. There's for me, there's no questions about Ben Johnson's scheme and what he does offensively. It's then like the question mark of like, can like the philosophy be instilled with 53 dudes? Like, that's my question. So he's never been a head coach. So I understand, like, I wholeheartedly love the way he runs his offense and all type of shit. But then it's like the head coaching thing is a little different. So that's kind of where some of my, like, that's where a little bit of my anxiety comes from with Ben Johnson. I will say that. That is just me. Now, some of y'all, I understand, bro. You like, hey, that's number one. Don't matter what it is, bro. That's who I want as the head coach. And I get that. And that's 100. But I just think, you know, we got to kind of at least talk about that a little bit, because I just want to, we got to talk about it from all angles, bro. Because guess what? If Ben Johnson come in this motherfucker and he only win like 6-5 games, well, what the fuck do you think I'm going to come out here and say? I'm going to say, well, hey, bro, he didn't have that much experience. We already knew that from the jump. He was only an OC at Detroit. He probably needed a little bit more time to season himself as far as head coach. He probably needs more time. That's what we'll come out here and say, right? But my job here in this offseason as a content creator, and I'm trying to grow in this space, right? Really get bigger, get the name out there. I feel like my job is to temper expectation, right? And that's not even saying like, oh, bro, like, fuck this team, whatever the case. Like, no, none of that. But when I say that, it's like, even if you want Ben Johnson and you think he's the number one dude, don't come out here and like, let's be like, oh, bro, we're going to win. Like, all of a sudden, we're going to win 12 games. We're going to win 13 games because we have Ben Johnson. Like, that's unfair. It's unfair to do. Now, if we do that, well, shit, we're all healthy surprised, bro. Like, it's a healthy surprise. We're sitting there. We're all happy as shit. Hey, man, we didn't think this shit was going to happen, bro. Like, cool. You know what I mean? Look at the Commanders fans. I mean, the Commanders fans probably was like, all right, we'll be cool. But they didn't think about this shit. Houston fans, they thought like, all right, bro, we probably be all right. We probably be, nice little first year. They probably didn't think it was going to be this shit, right? So it's like, build the expectation. Build it, right? Sometimes, like, the way it goes, bro, like, more oftentimes than not, you got to build the shit slow, right? What they always say, Rome wasn't built in a day. More oftentimes than not, bro, we got a year. It takes years to stack, years to get it right. All right, there we go. Now, you can fuck around and hit that thing instantly, and we could do that. But I just want people to temper the expectation before, if he gets signed, bro, don't be getting out here and being like, oh, bro, we're going to win 12 games because we got Ben Johnson. Like, nah, bro. Give him time. Let it prove that. Let him prove that. You feel what I'm saying? If he come out here and he fuck around and we win, hey, we know what we got, right? We know what we got. But let's see how the shit unfolds if we do get Ben Johnson. I will say that. Keith England in the building. Shout out. Brady has someone in mind as OC. If Pete gets the job, I'm hearing OC from Tampa Bay doesn't get a head coaching job. They offer him the OC and assistant head coach, get head coaching job. They bring him in. Ooh, now check this out. A lot of us like Liam. I like Liam Cohen. I do. Now, some of the shit he was doing last night, though, I will say, some of the shit Cohen was doing last night, I didn't really like, right? As far as scheme and the way shit was going, the way he was calling the game at times. There were some things sometimes, and in certain situations as well, even in short yardage situations, I was left scratching. I was like, bro, what the fuck is he doing? But I do like Liam Cohen. I do. And if you were to tell me, right, if you were to tell me that Pete Carroll and Liam Cohen was to come in here and that would be the plan, I'm all for that. I like that. I do like that. Rundown, you already know Nation gonna expect Super Bowl run if we get Ben or Pete, which is wrong, right? Which is wrong. And I even brought myself to the front of the congregation. And shout out FBA G-Co. He says, I don't think we are expecting 10 wins first year with Ben Johnson, but looking at Commanders, and there she says, we different, we stopped, we got to build a foundation of success. Yeah, 100%. And this is the thing, right? Like, and I even brought myself to the front of the congregation. With AP, I mean, you can go back. All my shit's on the video. I fucked around. I said what, like 9-10 games, something like that. That's on me, right? When most of the national media was telling us 6-5 games, bro, and we didn't listen to that, right? I let my own fandom come in between what the logic was, right? Like what the actual logic was. He's gonna need time. And at times I even said, like, you know, you can go back and forth. You're like, okay, he's a rookie, but still, even to expect the 10 games, bro, that's health. That's a lot. That's large for a first-year head coach. That's large, right? Especially if you're taking over a team that needs culture, that needs stability, that needs a floor. Like, that's large. So, you know, this now going forward, bro, we none of that. We want stability, and we have to give this time to develop and have people prove to us what they are instead of projecting what it could be, right? Same go with the players, bro. It's same go with the players. It's the dreaded P word, right? The dreaded P word. Sometimes, right? For me, I want to pay a motherfucker off production, not potential, right? That's just me. The dreaded P. And at the same time, some of these motherfuckers be pushing P, right? Some of these motherfuckers on here that's free agents, whatever the case, bro, they've been pushing that potential for a minute. They've been pushing the potential for 3 fucking years. Where's the production? Hey, bro, you feel me? Like we got to start changing that shit up. So that's this whole season, we pushing P this whole season, bro. Production. That's what I want this whole season. So now going in, right? Let's talk about this GM shit. I said I wasn't gonna go an hour. Now look, we like 10 minutes from a fucking hour, bro. See, look what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? I got a problem, bro. I said I was gonna take a break from this shit. Couldn't take a break. Said I wasn't gonna go for an hour. We 10 minutes from a fucking hour, bro. I need to stop. I need to stop myself here. But let's go ahead through some GM shit, bro. We here already. You know what I mean? We here already. You might as well go ahead, finish it out. Let's go through some GM news updates to give y'all. So obviously, right, we're looking at head coaches. There has been no GM news, and that's because the Raiders are looking to search for the head coach first and then pair him with the GM second, right? Like, which is what you should do, and what smart teams do, honestly. So let's not go ahead and start panicking if anybody's panicking about not hearing GM hires, or whatever the case. But I will say this. We got some names that we can look at. There are 2 names that I can give you right now. And one is the obvious. So the first name that we can look at is a guy by the name of Ray Agnew. And right now he is with the Detroit Lions. All right. Ray Agnew is with the Detroit Lions. And he right now assists their GM, Brad Holmes, with the draft, with free agency, all of that stuff. So he's he's been with Detroit. Let me see how long he's been with Detroit. Let me go ahead and look that up for y'all before I go ahead and just be blurting shit out. But it's his 4th season with the Lions. There we go. 4th season with the Lions. And he's the assistant general manager, like I said. So he helps Brad Holmes over there with all of the functions of the player personnel. You feel what I'm saying? So, and obviously since he's been here for the years he's been here, you've seen a dramatic increase of wins and blah, 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 productivity, whatever the case. Right. So, before coming to Detroit, though, he was a pro scout with the LA Rams. So, hey, anytime, somebody be with the Rams as of recently, it's a good thing. And I love when GMs have that scouting background, even coaches, right? I love when they got that scouting background. You got to have it, because you got to know what you're looking for, right? Not only for college, right? Because some people say like, oh, scouting, like you only think college. Nah, bro, like you got to scout for the NFL as well, right? You got to scout the 32 teams. Who's out there? Who could come in here and be a welcome addition to what we already have, like sort of what Telesco did with Chason, right? Sort of what he did with Chason. So, was there, man, and obviously with the Rams, again, tasked with evaluating all 32 NFL rosters to see who they could sign in free agency, who they'd be able to trade for by the deadline, so on, so forth. So looking at Ray Agnew, the reason you talk about that, reason I bring the name up is an obvious connection because you've already interviewed 2 Lions coordinators, right? When you're talking about Ben Johnson, of course, Aaron Glenn, and that would be the obvious connection to roll with. If you go with either Aaron Glenn or you go with Ben Johnson, you would say, okay, well, of course, you would probably want to prize somebody who they're familiar with, which is Agnew, right? Which is Agnew. So he, of course, bro, you have to try to pluck from these winning teams as well, right? You got to pluck from the winning teams. You know what's crazy sometimes too, bro? And I say this all the time, like shit can be so simple and football so simple sometimes, and like people make it so difficult. You realize like sometimes if you just look around with the coaching hire sometimes with the teams that instantly start making success and upgrades and start getting themselves better, you notice like in the hiring cycles, they be hiring from like playoff teams or like teams that have perpetual success and things of that nature, right? And meanwhile, the teams that are bad fuck around and hire Luke Getsy and shit. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, you get that's the fucking difference. Or hire somebody from, a squad that was like barely a playoff team or wasn't even a playoff team was what we did for the past couple years, or hire a reach. Like, bro, we got to start hiring people that have been around success, right? That have tasted success, have done that before. You feel what I'm saying? So looking at it, bro, this search, that's what I'm saying. This search looks completely different because sometimes you be seeing the searches we be looking at. It's like, why are you even interviewing some of these people? Right? Like you interviewing some of these people that had damn near same records as us, or some like 2 games better. Like, what are we doing? But that is one. The next name that we're going to talk about, bro, the next name that we will talk about. And if you don't already know, now you know. I think my guy England already said it. It is a guy by the name of John Spytek. That is the second one. And for me, I would think, it's just me, I think is the number 1 choice for the Raiders GM position. I think if you were to get him and pair him with Ben Johnson, we might be cooking with fish, with some fish grease. You feel what I'm saying? Might be cooking with some fish grease. So if we looking, bro, right? If you don't already know about Spytek, he is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. And I do have something to share with y'all about what he's kind of done with them. There we go. So if you're looking here, right, as an assistant, want y'all to read this for yourselves. As an assistant general manager with the Bucs, that's what he is right now. So he works closely with the GM, but he works with Light regarding the draft, free agent acquisitions, and all personnel decisions. So he does oversee that day-to-day for the college, the pro scouting departments. He's responsible for free agency prep, evaluating the talent throughout the NFL, and all the professional football leagues. So he's been with the Bucs since 2016. And since he's joined the Bucs, they've clinched 4 playoff appearances, 6 playoff victories, 3 NFC South Division titles, a Super Bowl championship as well. He is also one of the biggest reasons Tom Brady decided to go to Tampa. He was instrumental in working kind of that behind the scenes and getting Brady to, take his talents over there to Tampa Bay. So obviously there's that connection there. For me, I like the way that we're conducting these searches, and I like the people that we're talking to. You're talking to guys where I like the way the ship is ran over there, right? For me, bro, I like the way Tampa Bay acquires its players, how they draft, right? And all certain other things, bro. When you look at their drafts, and I really have somebody trying to argue with me that, what they've done over there in Tampa Bay isn't good at all. It hasn't been good for 4 years. Come on now, bro. If you look at their draft from, I think, 2020 and on, they've drafted nothing but Pro Bowlers, starters, and key contributors. Literally, right? You're getting at, like, out of each draft, from since 2020, you probably got 3-4 dudes out of a draft that's either going to start for you, going to be a contributor, or these motherfuckers done drafted a Pro Bowler, right? Like, so evidence. There's been evidence of him and this organization knowing how to draft these players, knowing which players to go for, right? And at the same time, you look at the key free agent acquisitions that they've had as well. None bigger than Baker Mayfield. Right now, you can get on, I guess you can get on SpyTech Light for drafting, Kyle Trask in the second round, whatever the case. But to combat that, Baker Mayfield, big acquisition, huge acquisition, right? But Raiders could use a Bucky Irving, a Jalen McMillan, a Tristan Wirfs, right? A fucking a Winfield, right? Like all these guys that they have, bro. Like they drafted guys. You know what I mean? They have guys. Now, obviously, that division that they're in is not all that strong or whatever the case, right? But you're looking at the job that he's done, right? That SpyTech has done and what his job entails. He's done his job, right? He's done his job. So I think, and by all means is known as somebody that's aggressive. Known as somebody that's going, if he wants to go after something, he's going to go get that, which is what we need. But I think pairing him with a guy like Ben Johnson, 100% would be a home run slam, grand slam, bro. So Bucks can draft. We only had one good draft in a couple years. Gruden was the worst drafter, and McDush was bad too. 100%. The Bucks, bro. When I look at their goddamn, oh yeah, SpyTech is hard too. That shit is hard. When I look at their roster, bro, it's built correctly. It has depth, right? Like you look at their roster, they have starters in their places that they're supposed to be, and at that point, they have very quality depth as well that they've either gotten from the draft or they've gotten from free agency, which is how the fuck you're supposed to do it, right? Their team is. I'm not going to say it's complete, right? It's not all the way complete. And I'm sure he's an assistant general manager. So I'm sure if he got the chance to do his own thing, he'd probably do something a little different. But, for what they've done, I think they've done a very good job over there, bro. I'm not going to lie. Now, they just lost that playoff game. And very unfortunate they lost that playoff game. I really think I think they in the way right now of something with Jayden Daniels. They just in the way. You feel what I'm saying? They just caught it on the wrong day, bro. Like your boy special. And fuck me, man. If anybody that was with us last off season, that was talking about Jayden Daniels last off season here on the rundown, we knew. We knew. We fucking knew. We sat here and we said it the whole time. People tried to gaslight us and say, no, he's not worth trading up for. Stop it. When you know, you know. That motherfucker's real, bro. Can you imagine if he was here? The jersey would already be in the closet. I'll tell you that right now. The jersey would be bought. But goddamn, bro. Goddamn. Sometimes, bro, when you know, you know. You gotta be aggressive. But that is today's show, man. That's some of the updates that I do have for y'all. I might have one more. Hold on. There might be something else. Because there is somebody else that I did want to talk about. Oh, Robert Saleh. That's the last one. My bad. Robert Saleh did have an interview. I believe his interview is scheduled now. I think it's Thursday. Somebody said 16th. Yeah, 16th. So the interview is scheduled for Robert Saleh. Again, I mean, I love what Saleh brings as a defensive coordinator, but I'm not there as far as a head coach. I'm not there. Last time I saw him, he didn't move me. He never was able to get the offense right. It seemed like the defense was always on point. But the offense, and that's the thing. If you're going to be the head man, it's not just one side of the ball. It's got to be both sides of the ball. So he never was able to get that right. For me, I'm good, right? You feel me? Like I don't like that. But I do think you got to touch base and see, hey, if X, Y, and Z happen, would you come here as a coordinator? So I think the offense was so garbage, bro. I can't. Like, as a head coach, you got to get everything right. I can't just look at one side of the ball, I got to look at everything, bro. But this is true. This is a fact. So it's hard. It's hard. How do you distinguish the ass? You feel what I'm saying? Who was more? What? Where was it? So we just gotta see there. But he did draft top defensive talent, but he can definitely do that as the DC too. I mean, you get all the input you want, brother. You want all the input on the defensive picks that we can make? Cool. If we stay in at number 6 overall, you want Will Johnson, you want Mason Graham, you want Abdul Carter, by all means. You got them right. We'll take that for you, Robert. For sure. But full head coach? I don't know about that. Right? And guess what? I saw you take Zach Wilson. So we can't fuck around and discredit that fact. I did see him take Zach Wilson. So that was a young quarterback, top drafted quarterback under your tutelage. You got to eat that, right? He's got to eat that. That's part of the resume, bro. So I didn't like what I saw from there, and we are at a point where we got to develop a young quarterback. But again, right? You come here and we stay in at 6 overall. You want one of the Michigan boys? You want Abdul? By all means, I'm gonna get that for you. I'm going to get that for you with Max, and we're going to go to work. But if we looking to for real get that quarterback like most of us want, we can't do that, bro. We can't do that. I don't think it'd be a smart move, my personal opinion. Now, some of y'all can think different, but yeah, not for me. Not for me. But that is the show. Again, make sure you guys keep the notifications on, because during this all season, we just going to do surprise lives, impromptu lives, bro. Just keep it a bean, right? If we hear something, if any news pops up, we going live, right? If we make a signing, we going live. Or if we just gotta go ahead and talk about some updates that we got, definitely got to talk about that. So make sure you guys, number one, hit the like button for you boys. Much appreciated, right? Definitely hit the like button. We're trying to grow this channel, right? So again, we done reached 2K for our second season, right? For the rundown, man, we're trying to get to 3K before the season starts. I know it's a lengthy goal, but I'm trying to get to 3K subscribers for the season starts. Bring some more people here on the rundown, bruh, to what we got going on here, man. Keeping it real here with the Raider Podcast as we do. So once again, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're feeling what you're hearing, right? Keep the notifications on. And y'all know what I always say here on the rundown, man. We keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground here on the Raider Rundown. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see y'all later on in the week. Peace.
I need a bad bitch with an accent, serving in peace, still taxing. Just got tapped for the young Cash App, moonwalking like a young Mike Jackson. Yeah, shots to the head, ride clean and still fuck feds. Realest nigga and it's on my kids, so who the fuck gon' wanna test me, bitch?